Hello, Miss Bell's Algebra 2 class. I'm looking at factoring difference of squares activity. Today is the 16th, 316. I believe this is due on Thursday, maybe. So that would be 318. But let's get going. I have this one drawn out here a little bit extensive because I was explaining to a student in class, what this is all about, what we're doing. So we have to come up with, first of all, numbers that you would multiply in order to get this, x squared. And here we have 4x squared. So, we know we're going to have x times x, but in order to get 4, it could have been 4 and 1, or it could have been 2 and 2. 2 and 2 work because 2x times 2x equals 4x squared. Plus, I just have a minus 25 back here. Now I have to come up with two numbers that I multiply in order to get 25. And that would be 5 and 5. But a negative, one's going to be positive and one's going to be negative. And then nothing else can be in between here. I can't have anything with an x in here as we saw yesterday because they're going to cancel out. So what does that mean? So I showed this person the FOIL method. We were kind of doing the FOIL method in reverse in our heads. But if you could take this and check it by doing the FOIL method, first times the first, 2x times 2x, I'm doing the f part of FOIL, 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Outside, so I'm going to take the outsides. 2x times a negative 5 gives me negative 10x. You can see it's crossed off because I went through the whole problem with that person. And then the I stands for insides. Multiply the insides. 5 times 2x is a positive x10. And already you see I have a negative x10 and a positive x10. So they cancel each other out. And then the lasts, you got to multiply the last ones. A positive 5 and a negative 5. That gives you negative 25. These cancel out, so what are you left with? 4x squared minus 25. It works. So you could, go through some of these even ones, think about it, think about how you could put those together. It's, like I said, they're kind of like a puzzle. And then go through the FOIL and see if you return back to your original problem. It's a good strategy. To see if that's working. Okay, I'm not going to do that for each one of these. I just want to show you these and just talk about my thought processes on these. So n squared, this is easy. You're going to have n and n. And then you're just going to have negative 9. So negative 9, it would be a positive 3 and a negative 3. Notice that when I put, when I think of outside and inside, I'm going to have a negative 3n and a positive 3n. They would cancel out. So it would be like this one where, the FOIL method does return it back to the original form. Now this one, I had the n squared, last. So I just rewrote it with the n squared first. And I have a negative 9. So negative 9 can be split up into negative 3 and a positive 3. And then I have a positive 4, so I have a couple positive 2's. 2 times 2 is 4. Notice, though, then, when I do the outside, I get a negative 6n, and the inside a positive 6n. That would cancel out. So that's the way to do it. Number 7, 2x squared. So I'm going to have a 2x, I'm going to have an x, right? And then a negative 18. And I'm going to go with 6 and 3 because if I multiply the 2 times the 3, I get a 6. And I'm going to make that a negative because I'm going to have a negative 6x and a positive 6x when I do the inside, when I'm thinking about the FOIL method. Okay, and that would cancel out. So I would just be left with a negative 18. I would be left with a 2x squared and a negative 18. For number 9, you're going to have u squared, so u times u. And then you have this negative 25v squared. Well, you're just going to break that up into 5 times 5 and put a v with each one. Make one negative, make one positive. So that when you do, thinking about the FOIL method, the outsides, when you multiply the outsides, you're going to have a positive 5 VU, and on the inside, you're going to have a negative 5 VU, and so they cancel out, so you're just left with, you know, negative 5E times a positive 5E gives you negative 25E squared. All right. Try that with the even ones, and you know, try to do the FOIL method like I was discussing, and how I just showed you in number one, to see if you're doing it correctly. If not, you know, just do the best you can and learn from your mistakes, and that's making progress.